Hi, I wanted to thank you for joining me on this next episode of Doing Insurance Right. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. I'm a local farmers agency owner here in Ahwatukee/Phoenix, Arizona. And today I wanted to go over motorcycle insurance, kind of the ins and outs of motorcycle coverage. It's going to be real simple to follow. If we went over car coverage before in a previous episode, it's going to be really similar to that. I will go over a few of the differences and a few of the intricacies of the motorcycle insurance. So the first thing, just like car insurance, there is going to be a bodily injury portion. So you're going to see similar limits like you would on car insurance, from $15,000, $30,000 all the way up to $500,000 per person, $500,000 per incident, or maybe even $500,000, $1 million on the bodily injury. The next column is going to be your property damage. So with property damage, sometimes they come a little bit less. You know, the motorcycle can't quite do as much damage as something with four wheels. So definitely something to take a look at there. Typically, property damage is not that expensive on a motorcycle policy just because they know that it cannot do as much damage. The next ones are going to be uninsured and underinsured, just like your car policy. So this one here, if you are working, you might want to make sure you have plenty of coverage just in case you do get hurt by an uninsured or underinsured motorist to maybe cover lost wages. That's something that's going to be important if you do get hurt and you're out of work for a while, due to the fact that injuries are probably a lot more likely on the motorcycle than they would be in the car. So definitely keep that in mind. So there are some, different things after you get past that. And then if you want liability only, or if you do want a collision and comprehensive deductible, there's going to be like basically how long have you operated a motorcycle for. So telling your agent or being able to, I've operated a motorcycle for, 10 years, 20 years, 2 years. This is my first time being able to do that. Obviously, the longer we've operated a motorcycle, the better our rate's probably going to be on that one. The next one we're going to be able to want to tell our agent or get to do that is going to be, do we have a motorcycle endorsement on our driver's license? Do we have that endorsement? That does save some money having that endorsement as well. The next one is going to be, do we belong to any of the associations, such as maybe the Harley Club or something that, an association that has to do with the motorcycles. AARP actually for us is one. If you belong there is a savings there as well. So letting them know that. And then also if you have any additional operators, just like if you have multiple drivers in the house, if there's only one person operating the motorcycle, then there's only one person. But if there could possibly be 2, 3, or 4, make sure you let your agent know, or make sure if you do the 800 number service that you put in online that yes, there is additional operators for this. So there's definitely some savings there, depending if you're part of an affinity group or if you have the endorsement or how long you've been driving it. They also want to know if you've had any non-cancellations for the motorcycle insurance. Have you had motorcycle insurance continuously? Have you let it drop? If you've let it drop, there is a little lapse in coverage, even though you may have had car insurance, but you lapsed in the motorcycle insurance and you've still owned the motorcycle. So they'll basically ask, a purchase date, when did you get it, things of that nature. If you've let it lapse, there is a little bit of a penalty, not much, but there is a little bit of a penalty for letting that lapse. So something to keep in mind when you maybe just get a rider policy, or something inexpensive, liability only, if you're going to lay it up. That's another question that they're going to ask. So if you're in an area that has a lot of climate, unlike Arizona where it just gets warm, where you could probably ride the motorcycle all year round, is the bike going to be laid up? Is it going to be stored for an amount of time? If so, how long? So if it's going to be laid up for 6 months, then let's put 6 months. But remember, if we put it's going to be laid up and you happen to have a gorgeous day, are you going to take it out for a ride? If so, that's not necessarily the best thing to do, is put it's laid up. So maybe make that laid up period a little bit shorter. That way we know we can't have one of those 65, 80 degree days, maybe in December or January. So that way we make sure we have coverage if we happen to spin that around on a gorgeous day. So just to give you a few hints there on the motorcycle, here's the biggest one I did want to go over. One huge advantage here with farmers in Arizona. So if you are a farmer's client and here in Arizona and you have car coverage coverage, car insurance coverage with us, your uninsured and underinsured insurance does carry over to the motorcycle at no charge. So therefore, you don't have to purchase uninsured and underinsured on the motorcycle. You want to talk about some big savings, as that is two of the biggest pieces and most expensive pieces on the motorcycle coverage. So we're talking big savings. You can talk about half the policy price, which is extremely nice. Maybe where you could maybe beef up some other coverages where you might be a little bit weak to do that. But yeah, it's extremely fantastic deal that you can carry that over at no additional charge. So that's very, they don't advertise that, but it is well known amongst the agents. So make sure if you have a motorcycle, you let your agent know if you're here in Arizona, if you're with farmers, or if you're not with farmers and you do have a motorcycle. I almost guarantee you it's worth a look. If you have a car, motorcycle, let's say car, motorcycle, house, or multiple vehicles or multiple bikes, as it's a wonderful opportunity for you. So I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of Doing Insurance Right. As always, I do appreciate you listening in. If you could do us a favor and rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite platform, whether it be Apple, Google Play, Pandora, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, we would greatly appreciate it, as it does help us grow this podcast in this community. And as always, I will see you on the next episode.